So I have two different things here that I put together. I'm going to show you how to make an animal that's combined from three different parts. And how is that useful? You can also do things that are more like, I want to make a dragon combined from three different parts. So your assignment is to combine something from three different parts. So you could make a fairy, you could add wings, and you could add like little antlers on their head, and there you're done. Okay, so you can go get photos on the internet. So I started out, and this is the size of our um, file. So it's an 11 by 14 page, and you don't have to make it that big. I would do it on here, and then you can crop it down if you want after you're done. So what I'm going to do is show you how I did this. So if I hide the background, you can see that I already went and took the backgrounds off of the bat wings and the lizard. Oh, I don't have auto select on. So the lizard and the wings, I've taken off all of the extra stuff. And I want you to be really careful, because this, even though you can find these images with a white background on them, if you use the magic wand, sometimes it eats away at the edges and then it doesn't look clean, or sometimes it doesn't get everything because it'll leave whatever the shadow was. So when I did my lizard, all of this stuff under the tail and around the toes was all, there was like some gray stuff from the shadow. And I went in and I used my lasso tool to clean it up. Okay, so make sure that you have a nice clean cutout when you're doing this. I don't want you to just magic wand it and delete it. That's one of the reasons why I'm teaching you how to use the tools. So yeah, it's great to have something that auto masks things, but it doesn't get exactly what you're trying to get all the time. All right, so I still have one more thing to do on here, and it's the smoke. Okay, so I just need a little bit of smoke because I want him to have a little puff of smoke, like he just breathed some fire and now he's just kind of got a little smoke left over, right? You could put some fire on there or smoke. I took the smoke because it was on a white background. Now notice what's on here, right? These are watermarks. So if you go and get pictures from somewhere, you have to be careful that the watermarks aren't there. Okay, so you don't want them to show. And guess what? That's where things like the clone stamp is really useful, because you can go in and hit option and go in and, oops, I'm not on the right layer. Go in and if you get nearby, look at that, you can get rid of the watermark. Right, so you can work on doing that, but of course you have to get the right color, and that takes a really long time, so I'm not going to do it. But you can go in and you can delete watermarks. Like, for example, I select this and I go in, then I can delete a watermark, right? So I am just going to, but I'm using these different parts and I'm combining them, so it's not like I'm trying to use this photo just as the photo. So I don't need all of this smoke. I can use my lasso tool, and I want it to be on a 0 pixels because I want a clean cut. So I'm going to just do it really quickly, but you should go and zoom in and go in and just get what you need. Now this has the watermark on it. So maybe I want, all of this, a little swirl. And then I would go back in and clean it up. So then I'm going to delete everything. So I can do the old select inverse because I want to get rid of everything on the outside and delete it. Okay. Now I have some smoke and I don't really like the way it looks. So I'm going to go in and fool around with it. If you wanted to sort of fade out, you could do a feather of maybe 5 pixels or so, and then you can go and get some of the edges and let it look a little bit more like it's kind of poofing off. I don't know how that's going to look. Let's try it out. So it kind of blends in. Okay, so what I would probably do is kind of go in and I would make it a little smaller. Okay, so there's my smoke that I'm going to have coming out of the dragon. So don't forget, when you drag your photos into Photopea off of the internet, they're going to be, you got to rasterize them. So don't forget, you got to right click and rasterize. So now I have my little dragon and my smoke. And so the smoke needs to be a lot smaller. And I'm not in love with the smoke. I don't think it's the greatest smoke ever, but we'll use it. And then I'm going to get my dragon or my lizard. Oh, I wonder what was down there. Something else is on that picture. I don't know what, maybe just a little peep. Oh, because it had. That was weird. All right, so I got my lizard and it is breathing a little smoke out because it just finished breathing some fire. And then I need to add some wings because dragons have wings. So I found this pair of bat wings because usually they kind of look like that, right? And I'm going to use these bat wings, but I need to make some significant changes to them. I got this set and I'm going to take them apart. So I am going to take, I should zoom in. And one, I want to go back to 0 pixels. And then I'm just going to get this wing. Whoops. I want to separate them onto 2 separate layers so I can put one in front of the dragon and one behind the dragon. So I'm going to copy this wing. I'm going to delete it. So I'll go edit, copy or cut, edit, cut. And then I'm going to do Command V or paste. And now see how it's done. It's put it on another layer. I'm just going to name it the other wing. So now I have my bat wing too, and I'm going to put that one in front of the lizard. So I'm going to put it somewhere on its back that I think looks right. And I'm going to use my move tool to change it. And maybe I don't want all of that wing, right? Maybe I want it to be a little smaller. So I'm going to put it kind of like this. And then I'm going to get rid of the bottom part. Now remember how we make a nice smooth transition. We want it to kind of look like it's really coming from the side of this creature's body. And I think we don't want it to get in the way of that. So I'm going to move it a little bit more. And I'm going to cut off this part. So I'm going to use the lasso. I'm going to use the feather. I'm going to try 20 pixels to see how that looks. So I'm going to go and I'm going to take this off of the end. Now notice that, I don't know if you can see it, but you can see part of the lizard's body through. So that means I did too much. The blend is too wide of a blend. So I'm going to undo that and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to try 10. So remember, whoops. So remember, you want to make sure that it's always, it's not taking away from too much of it. So I'm going to surround this part. I'm going to delete. And now you can see that it's not, you can't see through the wing anymore. So let's see. I like how it looks like it's attached. I'm going to use my move tool and play around with the angles. I'm going to put it on its back. I don't have to worry about that on the other wing, but the other wing needs to go the other direction, right? Because I need 2 wings here. I could just use the same wing or I could use this, but since it's already on the other layer, I'll just flip it. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the other wing. I'm going to go image, transform, flip, horizontal. Uh-oh. Whoops, wrong one. It's image or edit. That's image goes and does the whole thing. Edit does just the one thing that you have selected. And since I've chosen that one layer, it's only going to do this. So flip horizontally. Sorry about that. Then this bat wing, I'm going to put so that it looks like it's behind the lizard. So I could put it up here or down here. I could angle it a little differently so it looks like it's kind of flapping, right? And then I'm going to move it, and I might make it a little smaller because it's behind it. Right? When things are further back, they're a little smaller. And then I'm going to just move this layer down below the lizard, and now it's behind its back. So now I have a dragon, and it's all ready. I can merge all of the layers, and I don't need the background. I can just see how it's all transparent. I can merge this, and then I can copy and paste the whole thing into my work. So you can either work in your actual file and then merge the layers, and then just call it dragon, right? Or you can do some of the combination things on separate files and then copy and paste them in. But either way, you want to make sure that it's on a transparent background so that whatever it's in, if it's in a forest or on a mountain or on a lake or in a house, it's going to be able to see whatever else is back there. All right. So that's my dragon. That's how to do a dragon. And then I'm going to show you. So your assignment is you can make a dragon if you want. So you would have to make some kind of fire flames or smoke and wings and a lizard body, or you can do a combo animal. So my combo animal is going to be a tiger and a bird and some antlers. Your combo animal has to have 3 parts. You can change the tail, or you can make like the middle of the body. I could have made a bird head, a tiger body, and then made like a tail in the back, like a bunny tail or a fish tail or something like that. Or I could have taken this whole back half off and made a fish. So you are going to make a combo animal. Now, if you notice, I have not taken the backgrounds off of these, and they aren't white and they're very clear. So hopefully I can cut them. But if there's anything that you need to do carefully, then you will need to trim them with the lasso and not just the magic wand. All right, so first of all, you see that there's little squares there. So whenever we import images into Photopea, they automatically need to be rasterized. It doesn't seem to do that in Photoshop, but I just rasterized them all so I can edit them. So I'm going to hide each thing, and I'm going to do one at a time. So I'm going to do the bird. I don't know why it looks like it has that selected, but I'm going to use the magic wand, and I'm going to see what I can get. See what it did? It ate away at the face, and if I deleted it, it's going to delete the face of my bird. So you can change the tolerance to 1. And now look, it's not getting all of it, right? So you can play around with the tolerance. I'm going to try 8. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And I only need the head. So I just need to make sure I have a clean cut around the head. So I'm going to delete that background. And then I don't know why these little squares are here. That's very strange. I don't think I think it's some sort of glitch that they're not really there doing anything. So anyway, I only need the head of the bird. So I'm going to get rid of most of it just to get it out of the way. So I'm going to get rid of like this much of the bottom half of the bird. And it is on a feather, but that's okay. I am going to feather this to make a blend. All right, so now I'm going to hide that, and I'm going to get my tiger. And I am going to use the magic wand, and I have it set at 8. Let's see how it does on this. So that's pretty good. So I'm going to delete the background on that. And then, oh, there we go. And then I am going to, so I'll just put him in, oops. I'll just put him up in the middle. I don't know why it's doing this. That's very weird. It's not supposed to do that. And then, so my tiger's all clean, and I'm going to change out the head, and I'm going to put the antlers on. So now I just need the antlers. So I'm going to move that. It keeps giving me this weird thing, and I don't know why. That's not normal. I'm just going to ignore it because it's not doing anything. I'm going to select the background there. And now I have my antlers masked off. So I just have plain antlers. And I am going to first, I'm going to hide those. I'm going to first add the bird head to the tiger. So I'm going to move that bird head up to the front so I can see it better. And I'm going to take the move tool and I'm going to put my bird head in a way that looks like it's going to fit. So you have to kind of do some things like see this, the angle like needs kind of a curve so it meets it nicely, or I can rotate the head a little bit and make it look like it fits. So you're going to have to kind of play around with things to get it to work. So I'm going to use my lasso and I'm going to do 15 pixels. I'm going to just blend. I'm going to just take off some of this end and see how it looks. So it's kind of blending together. I could also go in and change the color of the bird if I want it to look more like a tiger color. So if it's not, if I don't want it to be blue, I can make it a tiger color. So I also want this curve to match up. So I'm going to trim off a little bit of this bird's head. I'm going to hide the bird and I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to use my lasso and I'm going to make it at 0. And then I'm going to go along the edge of the tiger's back. And then I'm going to unhide that bird. Now I don't want all of that taken away. I just want maybe this. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to add to the, if I use the Option key, or you probably have to use the K key or the Alt key, I can delete part of what I've done here and I can go in and do that. So now I just have this little teeny bit that I'm going to clear off, and there I've done it. So I just cleared off a little bit. It doesn't really look like it did a whole lot. I'm just going to fake it. I'm going to use my lasso tool and I'm going to go like this. And you can use your arrow keys to even move this around. And I'm going to delete that. That looks better. That looks much better. All right, so now I need this tiger head to go away. So I'm going to surround, it's on 0. I'm going to surround that and anywhere that's showing above here. But I want to leave some of it because I want that blend to still be good. I go back to my tiger layer and I delete the head. Now I have a tiger, a bird-headed tiger. Like I said, you can do things to change it. I can change this bird head if I go on the bird layer and I go to image, adjust, color, or hue saturation. I can try that and I can colorize it. Then it's going to be, well, that might work actually because of the stripes. So let's see what it looks like if I colorize it. So I'm going to change it to orange. Look at that. And then I'm going to up the saturation a bit so it's more like the tiger. And I'm going to make it a little darker. So I'm playing around with the hue and saturation, trying to get it to kind of blend, right? Maybe not quite so yellow. There we go. All right, so now I've sort of matched it. It looks like it could be a little bit less saturated, or I could saturate the tiger a little bit more. I could do image, adjust, maybe brightness, contrast. I could try that. Or image, adjust, hue, saturation, and intensify the saturation and maybe lighten it up a little bit so it matches better. There. Okay, and now all I got to do is add my antlers. I'm going to move those up to the top. I'm going to add them, and they're pretty much like the bat wings, right? So I'm going to move the antlers, and they're pretty big. The other thing is you have to look at the angle. So really, I'm probably going to have to fool around with that too. Okay, so I'm going to take the other antler and copy and cut it and paste it now it's on a new layer, right? And I'm going to take this one and I'm going to fool around with it. Maybe I want it to be up more. And I can play around with the angle. I'm going to take everything and move it down because it's going off the page. So I can select all of my layers and I can grab them and move them down. Did you know that? You can select that way. And now I'm just going to go back to that one antler. I'm going to add the antler. I'm going to make it a little smaller because it sure does look big. I think I'm actually going to make it down there, and then I'm going to go ahead and get the little blend. Or you can also zoom way in and you can kind of take it away. So I'm just going to make a really small feather of 5 pixels. Let's see how that looks. I'm going to take this away right here. And then also this. Okay, so it's kind of blending in. Okay, and then the other guy, we'll do that one. And I'm going to shrink it and curve it. And also, I don't have to worry about cutting anything off because it's going behind, which I'm going to take that and drag it down below the bird head because it's now behind it. And I think it needs to be a little smaller. And there we have it. So there is my crazy tiger with a bird head and antlers. And when I'm all done, then I can use my crop tool and just crop it if I want to. So what you're going to provide me in the assignment is basically the photo PSD file of this or of the dragon, which you can also crop when you're done. Don't merge the layers unless it's your other file and you want to use it in your other file. Right, so there I'm done. I have a dragon and I have a combo animal. That's really hideous, isn't it? All right, so that's basically the assignment, is to create a combination animal. It can be a fantasy animal. It can also be a fairy if you wanted to take a person and give them a robot head and a fish tail or something like that. So a combination animal includes humans. It has to have 3 different parts. So a main body, you could change the tail. You can do more if you want to, like I could take this off and put some other kind of tail on it, or even like feather tails to match the head. Like what if I took a duck tail and I put it on there? Okay, so you don't have to change the color like I did, but I just thought it would, I just wanted to see what it would do. So play around and have fun. I want you to have fun with this.